אחורת, אשר עשה לך עמלק בדרך בצאתך ממצרים, אשר קרך לו בדרך. Don't get so excited. I only know a few of them by heart. I'm not a great Torah reader, correct? I'm not. And there is a reason for that. One day I will give you my reason, which I saw in therapy for many years, why I'm not a good Torah reader. There is a story. A couple Shabbatot during the year, like just Kento said, Shabbat Purim has a special name, which is Shabbat Zachor. Zachoret, asher asa lecha Amalek, bederech betzatcha mimitzrayim. Remember what Amalek did to you in the wilderness when you left Egypt. What did Amalek do? Sack from the back. They stab you, your wives, and your children. And the text says at the end, you shall blot out the memory of Amalek from under heaven. Lo tishkach. Do not forget. Listen to the paradox. Blot out the memory of Amalek. Clean them. Do not forget. So, what's being asked of us, of course, is utterly impossible. How are you supposed to blot out the memory of Amalek and at the same time not forget what they did? Understand? If a couple of generations clean the name of Amalek, the next generation will not remember. So again, what's being asked of us is impossible. How are we supposed to blot the memory of Amalek and at the same time not forget what they did? Do we seek to destroy the memory of past horrors or preserve it? That's hardly a challenge. Think of the Hebrew words that many people say after they say the name of Hitler. Imach shemo vezichro. Which means, may his name and memory be erased. Now, it's a fitting sentiment, to be sure. But why then do we spend so much time and money preserving his name and his memory? So many buildings where you enter, you see his picture. So you say, when you hear his name, make his memory be struck. And then you build a building and his picture is there. That's the tension that Purim is all about. The grogers for blotting out Haman's name are cute, but they are totally ineffective. Why? First of all, we first have to hear his name before drawing it out. It's even getting better, because we are so intent on blotting out his name. What's the word that all the kids are working the entire night to hear? Aman. So much for erasing him. So Rabbi Daniel Cohen, using the contradiction of remembering and blotting out the memory of Amalek, has a very interesting take. His words made me think of the way in which social media has been weaponized in recent months. Spend 5 minutes on social media these days and you will be overwhelmed by the amount of anti-Israel and Jew-hating posts. They're ugly. They are painful. They are enraging. And for many, the visceral response is to post something that calls out the overt hate. But one must ask, is pushing back on the same hate-filled platforms helpful? Or like blotting out Haman's name, is it totally ineffective? And the answer is, pay attention how social media is employed for hate. I was surprised, I didn't know, but I learned. Not only 25% of the posts you see are generated by robots, but at least 20% of the ugly social media posts filling our feeds have been tracked back to Iran. In other words, just as Hamas, Hezbollah, and the Houthis are Iranian proxies in the current military conflicts, so too is Iran using social media as an offensive weapon. There is more. When we see something on social media that enrages us and we feel the need to reply, to push back, to correct facts, we inadvertently amplify the initial post. Comprende? In other words, Just as blotting out Haman's name ultimately emphasizes him by encouraging us to specifically listen for his name, responding to hate online may actually help spread the very hate we seek to combat. That does not mean we should never respond to social media posts, but it's a reminder to slow down and weigh the pros and cons of replying to inflammatory content before we do. Instead of playing into and amplifying their hate, perhaps we need more posts that show your love for Judaism, your joy at celebrating community, the beauty of your tradition, the support of Israel. That's Purim. The switch from the oi to the joy. Am Israel Chai, Shabbat Shalom, and Chag Sameach.